Elon Musk has got to go!
The protests are not going away, Donald. The protests are not going away, Elon. That was a protest in front of a Tesla store in Boston. Shout out to the peaceful protesters there. You saw a saluting Elon joining the Tesla takedown protesters there. Thank you to Dissent Pins for posting that. Meanwhile, at Mar-a-Lago, they're partying. Donald Trump was golfing again. He wrecks the economy, destroys our lives. Then they party at Mar-a-Lago, the oligarchs and their spouses taking selfie photos, laughing at the American people who are suffering as Donald Trump lies and claims that he solved inflation and claims that egg prices are down and gas prices are down and everybody's doing amazing, Donald Trump says. When we, the people, know that's not the case. Donald Trump's destroyed our economy. He's destroyed our alliances abroad. He's destroyed the very brand that was the United States of America. And here they are. Look, RNC chair Michael Whatley and co-chair Casey Crosby at a spring gala at Mar-a-Lago. So not only is Donald Trump spending our taxpayer dollars to golf again this weekend and to bring all of his staff and where he houses them at Mar-a-Lago that we, the taxpayers, pay for, but they're doing the RNC gala so Donald Trump can make more money and grift even more. I previously reported this, but it bears mentioning again that Donald Trump and his regime are now preparing a military parade in June on his birthday. 7,000 troops, tanks, parachute jumps, 50 helicopters, airplanes. It'll cost around $100 million at least so Donald Trump can look like North Korea's Kim Jong-un in a military parade in Washington, D.C. It is so utterly embarrassing right now. Let me remind you of 5 things alone that Donald Trump did this week. 1, he blamed Biden for the stock market tanking. 2, he called for criminal investigations of pollsters over his low approval ratings. 3, he claimed gas prices are under $2 a gallon. 4, he was a no-show at the White House on Friday and ran cartoons of himself instead of the press briefing that he said that was going to take place. And then he went golfing. I could add 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 very easily. Donald Trump posting AI images of himself dressed as the Pope right after Pope Francis's funeral, giving the middle finger to the Catholic community. And whether you're Catholic or not, whether you're even religious or not, this is the height of being disrespectful, mocking the Catholic religion. Could you imagine if former President Biden ever did anything like this? The New York State Catholic Conference put out a statement just before. They said, "There is nothing clever or funny about this image, Mr. President. We just buried our beloved Pope Francis, and the cardinals are about to enter a solemn conclave to elect a new successor of St. Peter. Do not mock us, Donald." A powerful statement from the Catholic Conference of New York. And I've been seeing a lot of other statements like that from the Catholic community and others who aren't even religious or Catholic. We reported on this before, but again, I want to reiterate it here. A big election victory for the Labour Party in Australia, which is their left-center party in Australia. Anthony Albanese there, who's the Prime Minister, will go on to secure another 3-year term. Their right-wing party in Australia, which is called the Liberal Party, led by Timu Trump, a guy by the name of Peter Dutton, got obliterated. It was embarrassing. It's showing the entire world that if you stand with Trump, you will fall for everything. You will fall in the elections and you will get embarrassed. The way Pierre Poilievre of Canada lost his riding, Peter Dutton not only lost the election for the Liberal Party in Australia, again, which is their right-wing conservative party, he lost his own seat as well. It was the worst election day pretty much in the history of that liberal right-wing party in Australia. And folks, here's why too. I mean, take a look at what the Trump regime is doing internationally. You have Secretary Marco Rubio making the following statement, attacking Germany. We have the United States Secretary of State attacking Germany. And he goes, Germany just gave its spy agency new powers to surveil the opposition. That's not democracy. It's tyranny in disguise. What is truly extremist is not the popular AfD, which took second in the recent election, but rather the establishment's deadly open border immigration policies that the AfD opposes. Germany should reverse course. Shut the F up. Secretary Marco Rubio, you despicable you know what. You don't need to interfere in German elections. The AfD is a far-right extremist party that many have called neo-Nazi. A far-right extremist party. The German Foreign Office has to respond and teach democracy to Secretary Marco Rubio from the despicable Trump regime. The German Foreign Office writes, "This is democracy, you idiot." Well, they didn't say you idiot. They said, this is democracy. This decision is the result of a thorough and independent investigation to protect our Constitution and the rule of law. It is independent courts that will have the final say. We have learned from our history that right-wing extremism needs to be stopped. Marco Rubio. Michael Cohen, not the Michael Cohen on the MeidasTouch network, writes, "Nothing to see here, just the U.S. Secretary of State advocating for an anti-Semitic, anti-Islamist, right-wing German political party and then getting posterized by the German Foreign Office social media manager." And folks, I get to ask this question a lot here, which is, how do I do research on the MeidasTouch network? What are the tools that I use? I use a tool called Ground News. At ground.news/MTN is where you should go. I use a feature called Blind Spot because I want to be informed. What's the right wing talking about? What's the left wing talking about? I want to come with receipts and facts here when I do these hot takes each and every day. So I use Ground News. It keeps me informed. I use their blind spot feature. And if you want to do the type of research I do, I suggest you check it out. Go to ground.news/MTN or scan the QR code. We're giving our viewers 40% off Ground News' top tier Vantage plan, which will get you unlimited access to everything I've just discussed and more. Ground News is subscriber funded, so they don't rely on ads. That could also introduce bias. Subscribing supports our channel and their independent team working to keep media transparent. Again, it's ground.news/MTN, ground.news/MTN. Because I wonder, is this getting coverage on the right wing, or are they just trying to cover it up as well? That a air traffic controller in the Newark airport has told CNN it's not safe. It's not a safe situation right now for the flying public. Do not fly into Newark. Avoid Newark at all costs. A direct quote from an air traffic controller saying U.S. airspace is now unsafe in the Trump regime. We've gone 5 days going on 6 of major delays at Newark, with FAA citing staffing levels because Elon Musk and Doge fired all of the FAA air traffic controllers. They gutted the agency. There's not the right staffing of people working there. And remember I said, what now, for 3 weeks, there's going to be I call it a Tom Hanks moment, referring to COVID, where Tom Hanks got COVID and people were like, oh shit, we should take this seriously. I guess like a miracle, it's not going to go away. I guess the 7 cases are not going to go to 0. Like Dear Leader was saying, maybe we're being defrauded. Donald Trump is the rug pull presidency, the Ponzi scheme presidency. And any rug pull and any Ponzi scheme, eventually, when you rob Peter to pay Paul, it's eventually uncovered and you get busted and things go bankrupt. You want to know why Donald Trump's gone bankrupt over and over again? He covers up things, turns a mistake into a catastrophe into a bankruptcy. That's how he's run all his crap into the ground throughout his life. He's doing it again right here. Travel alert. United flights will cancel 35 daily round-trip flights at Newark Liberty starting this weekend due to the air traffic control shortage. United CEO says the FAA has had to implement another ground delay program at Newark flight due to air traffic control staffing issue. Delays are averaging 1 hour and 43 minutes. Saturday's actually the 6th day in a row for Newark's ATC staffing issues. Let me show you how ABC described it. Here, play this clip.
It was Friday, the United Airlines CEO saying more than 20% of Newark's air traffic controllers walked off the job this week, forcing the airline to indefinitely remove 35 round-trip flights per day starting today. Writing, since there is no way to resolve the near-term structural FAA staffing issues, we feel like there is no other choice in order to protect our customers.
Newark is incredibly important because flights go out and come in from all over the world, and it has a direct impact on the rest of the nation's flight control situation when it begins to go down.
Multiple shifts of air traffic controllers monitoring Newark airspace now on weeks-long medical leave following an equipment outage on Wednesday. The controllers calling it a traumatic experience. More than 350 flights delayed Friday alone. On average, arrivals behind by more than 2 hours, leaving already travel-fatigued passengers frustrated.
Sat on the tarmac for about 40 minutes.
Ahead of the busy summer travel season, there's now push for more air traffic controllers. Federal officials announcing a new plan to expand the workforce and create a state-of-the-art air traffic control system, but could take years to build.
Now, folks, the incompetence, the lethal, fatal incompetence is across the Trump regime, right? You know how they're bragging about their airstrikes with the Houthis in Yemen? Well, the New York Times is reporting that a visual analysis shows that the U.S. likely bombed a migrant detention center in Yemen on April 28th. At least 3 U.S.-made GBU-39 bombs at the site of the attack, which killed 68 African migrants, according to the Houthis, a militant group that controls northern Yemen. That's what they're bombing? And would it shock you that that's what they're bombing? You think about what they're talking about on Signal. You're talking about what the way they deal with everything, the way they've handled the tariff formulas, which were all made up and has led to a disastrous trade war. No deals, Donald, 0 deals, 90 days. Spencer Akimian posts the following. Las Vegas is taking it on the chin. Unemployment is going up in Nevada. No way around it at all. Donald Trump destroyed Atlantic City in the 1990s. He's destroying Las Vegas in 2025. Go look at what's happening at MGM right now. Go speak to people on the ground in Vegas. This is a 3-alarm fire in Vegas right now. If you're from Vegas, tell me in the comments below what you see going on there. I'll leave you with this. Democratic Congress member Garamendi. He exposed a $150 billion Republican slush fund where they're stealing healthcare money and lunch money from children as a slush fund for, the defense budget? They are screwing over Americans. The most vulnerable is who they attack, this dastardly Trump regime. Play this clip.
Have we lost our minds? Have we forgotten about what we're supposed to do as to make rational choices for the benefit of American people? $150 billion out of the mouths of children who are not going to get a school lunch program or a breakfast program. That's what's happening here. This is a real situation in which we are to make choices. And I would challenge anybody on this committee, Democrat or Republican, to give me a rationale why we should be reducing healthcare services across this nation, why we should be reducing educational services, why we should be giving billionaires an additional tax cut so that we have a $150 billion slush fund for the military. We spent a whole year going through the National Defense Authorization Act, line item by line item, committee by committee, and came to the conclusion that $860 billion was enough. And that was $15 billion more than the year before. And here we are, $150 billion. I asked for support of this elimination of this $1.5 billion slush fund for the Sentinel program.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Let's grow. Stay in the fight. I know you may feel a little bit of fatigue right now. Don't. We're in this together, okay? You're doing an incredible job. The resistance is strong. The opposition is strong. Trump's on the ropes. Stay strong. We're in this together. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
New Midas merch drop! Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.MeidasTouch.com.